Okay, great. So my name is Frances Vhay, and I will introduce myself in more detail in just a minute. But first, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Young Disabled and Proud, especially Christina and Rosemary for spending so much time putting this together for us, and also to the HSD Foundation and the American Association of People with Disabilities for helping us get this webinar together today. So we're going to head to the next slide. And here is a list of our presenters for today. So my name is Frances Vhay. I'm the HSD Foundation Youth Transition Fellow at the American Association of People with Disabilities, or AAPD for short. And then once I finish presenting, we'll be having Amber Cheek present about the Workforce Recruitment Program, and then Christopher Mason will present about the Washington Center, and then Krista Flores will present about the Accessibility Program at the Smithsonian Institution. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about what I do as the Youth Transition Fellow. I work with students with disabilities and young people with disabilities to help them transition into the workforce as as they're either completing school or still in the process of finishing high school or college, sort of help promote different employment opportunities, including internships. And I think the importance of internships for young people, including young people with disabilities, really cannot be overstated. So the reason why internships are really important for young people is that it allows you to explore your interests and passions and to get a chance to try out different fields. So if you have an interest from something that you took in school, you can have a chance to sort of take it into the real world and through an internship opportunity, see if it's something that you would like to continue in the future. So whether you're interested in architecture or banking or policy or information technology, having an internship can really give you a great chance to explore different opportunities to see if you would be interested in being employed in that area in the future. Often the process of working is working in a job or an employment setting is very different than the classroom setting. So it can be a great chance to find out what you like and what you don't like before you look for a job. Another reason that internships are really great is that you develop very critical and important work skills and soft skills. So for example, it gives you the chance to learn how to work and act in an office environment, how to interact with colleagues and supervisors, how to dress for the workplace, and all of those things can be really important and are things that you may not learn during your education experience. Depending on your position, you may learn how to use a new computer program, how to improve your public speaking or customer service skills, and all of these new abilities are really important skills that employers value. The other thing that internships allow you to do is to network and connect with leaders. So if you're working in an office or another setting with people who are doing what you're interested in doing, it can be a really great chance to find people who can be mentors to you, who can give you advice about how to move forward in the career or job that you're interested in, and can give you advice about what to do in the future in terms of your job or your education or applying to internships, whatever it is. They could be a really great resource for you to have in a professional setting. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about why internships can be really great specifically for people with disabilities. They can give you, internships are a really great opportunity to experience the application and interview process. So if that's not something you've gone through before and maybe you need accommodations for your interview, for example, maybe you need an ASL interpreter or you need to make sure that the location is accessible, it can be a really great way to have practice in filling out applications and going and doing interviews, which you, rather than having it be your first time out on the job market, you've had some experience while you're still young and maybe still in school or a recent graduate. So the other great thing about being able to practice interviews through internships is that it can really improve your skills for the future. The first time that I did an interview, I was very hesitant and made it really clear that I wasn't sure of my abilities. And as a result, my interviewer said she wasn't sure she felt comfortable hiring me because I hadn't really talked about my strengths or what I was good at. So I learned a lot from that experience, and during my next interview, I made sure to really emphasize the things that I'm great at and to talk about all of my skills and abilities. And so even though I didn't get that first internship, it was a really great opportunity to experience an interview and learn from that interview how to really talk about myself in a positive way and how to, take that experience and do a better job the next time. The other thing is that once you have an internship, internships can be a really great chance to learn about how to disclose in a workplace environment. It can be very different from school, especially since a lot of students have 504 plans or IEPs or work with the Disability Support Services office on campus to set up accommodations, and it can be very different in the workplace. A lot of the time you're disclosing to your supervisor and then working with them to make sure that you get the accommodations that you need to succeed in the workplace. So it can be a really great chance to learn how to disclose to a supervisor and also learn what types of accommodations you need in the workplace, because they're often different than the accommodations you would use in school. And finally, it can give you a familiarity with different types of work environments. So maybe you will end up working, outdoors in a park, or maybe you'll work in a quiet office environment or in a noisier office environment, or maybe you'll work from home part-time and then work in the workplace the other part of the time. But whatever the environment is, you can kind of learn what works best for you. And that way, when you're looking for a job in the future, you know what types of environments you work best in. So those are just a few reasons why internships are really important for young people. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the Greater Washington Internship Coalition, which is a group of internship programs that I help support here in Washington, D.C. Most of them are based in D.C., although some of them are nationwide, and they support young people with disabilities. Some of these internship programs are designed specifically for students with disabilities, while others are open to everyone, but they are looking to include more individuals with disabilities. So the Greater Washington Internship Coalition really serves as one-stop shop for individuals with disabilities to receive information on internship programs that could be a great fit for them. And we have a website that I will be showing you in just a couple of minutes, so you can get a sense of how to look up information about the different internship programs. So the GWIC is composed of over, I think it's about 20 different internship and fellowship programs. And these span, there's a very wide variety. So really whatever your interest area is, you can find an internship program that will be a good fit. So for example, there are programs that include arts management, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics majors. There are several programs that would be good fits for people in those fields. There's a program in international development, and aside from that, there's also a lot of great programs with the federal government and congressional offices, which is obviously a big draw for DC. And in addition to that, there's a lot of nonprofit and for-profit business settings that you can find internships for. So these internship programs, a lot of them have a really great focus on diversity, and they really support that as part of their mission, and they just support that diversity and inclusion. So we're going to go to the next page, and I'm just going to show you how to navigate the Coalition website so you can get a sense of how that works and how to browse and look up different internship programs that you might be interested in. So let's see, we're going to go, okay. You should see a website coming up on your screen. It's www.aap.com/internshipcoalition. And this is the page right here. As you can see, we have entries for many different types of programs, and if you just click on one of the programs, it will open up into a tab so that you can see all of the information for each program. So each program has basic information, including the name of the program, the website, contact person, as well as information about the location of the internship and requirements to apply and when the application period is. So obviously, all of these internship programs have different requirements. So you might not be a fit for all of the programs. It depends where you are at. There are some that accept high school students. There are some that you need to either be in college for. There are some that accept recent graduates of high school or college, and some that look for people who are in some sort of continuing education program. It really varies, but there should be something that will fit everyone. You just kind of need to look and see for each one what the requirements are and whether that is a good fit for you. And we're just going to go back now, but if you want to browse more on that page, you definitely can. And I definitely suggest that you come back and check it out frequently because we often add new programs to the list. So we're always looking to update and include more internship programs. I should also explain that you do apply for each of these programs separately. They each have a separate application process. So on the website, you can just click to go to each internship website, and you can learn more about how the application process works for each program. So I think I'm reaching the end of my presentation, but I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know that the Greater Washington Internship Coalition really has incredible opportunities for students. You know, students really have a chance to grow in different fields and also to meet really incredible leaders. You know, we've had interns who have met, you know, and worked in Congress, those offices, who have worked in the federal government, who have worked at really great nonprofit and for-profit businesses, worked at NASA. So really whatever area you're interested in, there's probably a good fit for you. So I hope you'll check out the website. And I also wanted to make sure to give you my contact information. If you want more information about internship programs or have questions about how to apply to different internship programs or just want to know which ones might be a good fit for you, you're very welcome to email me. My email is ytf@aapb.com. And I'm also on Twitter, which you can see on the screen, and my handle, I guess it's called, is use_fellows, And on that, I tend to post a lot about upcoming internship deadlines and application periods. And now I'm going to turn it over to our next presenters, and all of these presenters are members of the Greater Washington Internship Coalition. So this is to give you a really great taste of 3 fantastic internship programs that are available for you all. Okay, and the first one of those is with Amber Cheek.
Hi everyone, my name is Amber Cheek. I work for the Department of Labor on the Workforce Improvement Program. And I just want to kind of give you the basics of the program, and you can always go to our website to find more information. Yes, that is me holding a cookie that says WRP on it. What is the WRP? The Workforce Improvement Program is a program that helps connect college students and recent graduates with federal and private sector employment. We work at approximately 320 schools across the country, and in a normal year we'll interview over 3,600 candidates. Our interviews happen in the fall, and based on those interviews we create a database of student profiles that employers search to find both interns and full-time employees. Our general goal is to be a primary pipeline for bringing students and recent graduates with disabilities into the government. But we also work with campus career centers to help bridge the gap between career services and disability services for students with disabilities. And we're always looking to reach out to more schools. So if your school would like to participate, please just get us into contact. Next, why participate in the WRP? First, you'll get professional interview experience with a federal recruiter. You'll have the chance to gain employment experience. We all know that GPAs only go so far. Internship experience is a real key to long-term employment. We also have a database that's open to students at different schools, and that database is used by over 1,200 federal hiring managers and many private companies every year. And lastly, it's a great opportunity to learn about Schedule A. Schedule A is the easiest way to fast track into the federal government, and every student with a disability who's interested in federal work should know about Schedule A and how to obtain a Schedule A letter. And I'll go into that very briefly and run through it very quickly. To be eligible for the WRP, you need to qualify for the Schedule A hiring authority. And what does that mean? That means you either have an intellectual disability, a severe physical disability, or a psychiatric disability. To qualify for the WRP, you also need to be a U.S. citizen, a current full-time degree-seeking college student, unless you're taking a reduced course load because of your disability, or you're in your final semester. We also accept recent graduates, so people who have graduated within a year of the fall that we have of the interviews that we have in the fall. So our interviews happen in October and November. So anyone who graduated a year prior to that can participate. Lastly, Schedule A. What is it? How does it work? Schedule A is what we call a hiring authority. People in the federal government can't just look at someone and say, I want to hire you. You have to use mechanisms to bring people on, and sometimes it takes a very, very long time. Schedule A is your fast track to get around a lot of that. It means that the hiring process could be easier for you so long as you meet the eligibility requirements for the job. To be eligible for Schedule A, you must be a person with a disability. In order to qualify for Schedule A hiring authority, you have to obtain a Schedule A letter. And if you go to the WRP.gov website, you'll find a more thorough explanation of how to get that letter. This is just a very broad overview of who's eligible for Schedule A, and I'm not going to go through it. If you go to www.wrp.gov and click on resources, you'll find this checklist. But if you skim it very quickly, you'll see that it's a very broad definition. If you registered with your Disability Services office, for example, you would probably qualify for Schedule A. So Schedule A is a good tool to use. It's a requirement for the WRP, but once you have that letter, you can use it for any federal job going forward in your exposure. And the way the WRP works, schools register to participate in the WRP between April, May, and June. So if your college might be interested, have them contact us, go to our website, and send us an email in that time frame, and we'll ensure that you get a recruiter in the fall. Students can start applying in August, and interviews happen in October and November. The Disability Services Office or Career Center on your campus confirms that you're eligible, helps you prepare for interviews, and assigns an interview slot. And federal recruiters conduct phone interviews with candidates. If the recruiter believes you're a good candidate, then your profile will be uploaded into the WRP database and available to those 1,200 employers that I mentioned earlier that they can search. And in December, we published the database to new employers. As you can see, any job you can imagine is available. We have park rangers, we have people who do policy work in public affairs, computer people, everything you can imagine. And I just wanted to quickly mention that WRP interns have really wonderful opportunities through the program. For example, Madison Carter came through the program several years ago and ended up working at a military base in Heidelberg, Germany. The WRP has very strong connections to military bases across the country. We are not just in Washington, D.C. We have an employer in pretty much every state, including Alaska. And we also work with military bases across the world, particularly in Germany and in Korea, to help our students obtain jobs. Secondly, Michael Huberman works for the Department of Labor. He came on as a WRP intern, and then we decided to keep him. And he went to work as a policy advisor at the Office of Disability Employment Policy, where the WRP is based. And he now works for ESPN, but he says that his federal work experience is what really sets him apart in the application process. So having a federal internship really will set you apart from all the other candidates. And if you want more information, here's some links you can go to later, but I'll turn it over to our next presenter.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris Mason. I'm the Director of Student Services at the Washington Center. And I'm happy to talk to you guys about the Washington Center this evening. We're the world's largest experiential education organization. I've been around for nearly 40 years and have over 50,000 alumni that have been through our program. We have a team of about 75 members, and we work with over 3,000 employers. And that's in a range of different areas, from the for-profit world, the non-profit world, the federal government, and so on. And we work with about 500 colleges all over the country and many more all over the world as well. Our mission kind of centers around 3 pillars, which are professional achievement, leadership, and civic engagement. That's what your entire experience will center around at the Washington Center. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming slides. But how it works is we have a team that goes onto college campuses every fall and spring semester to talk to students about the Washington Center and about interning through our program. Most of the recruitment is done via classroom visits, and also we do information sessions, attend career fairs as well. We also hold online information sessions and webinars. If you go to our website, which is TWC, which stands for the Washington Center.edu, you'll find out a lot of information about how you can join a webinar or a feature cast to find out more information about it. So each college and university that we partner with, we also have an on-campus liaison. That could be the Director of Career Services, it could be the head of the Political Science Department. It's different on each college campus. And when we visit those college campuses, we It's published throughout the university as well. And so, for example, each semester I go to, for example, the Dayton, Ohio area, and I visit the University of Dayton, I visit the University of Cincinnati, and I visit Wright State University, and many others in that area, and talk to college students about what the experience would be like to come to Washington, D.C. for a semester. So basically, instead of being on your home campus, your home university for a semester, you would be with us for that semester. We would almost serve as your university for that semester. And you'd be interning nearly full-time, about 32 to 36 hours a week. So what your week would look like is that you're going to be interning at your internship location Tuesday through Friday, and Monday morning you'll be interning, and Monday afternoon you're going to be participating in our leadership forum that we'll talk about a little bit later. Now how it works is you're going to apply to our organization, or to apply to the Washington Center, you're going to go on our website and there's an application right there. And you're also going to work with your campus liaison as well, as every student that participates in our program has to receive college credit. The application, once that you submit that to us, it will be processed by admissions committee, and then if accepted, you're basically into the program, and then you're going to work with our internship management team. How the placement process works is that you're going to be doing phone interviews while you're on your home campus, your college campus. And so that's going to range. So for example, the more broad type of specifics that you're looking for in internships, the more places you'll probably refer to. The more specific type of request that you have, probably the more narrow we're going to target your internship search. Basically, it averages out anywhere from 5 to 10, sometimes 6 to 8 different places we'll refer you to. It usually results in the 2 to 3 phone interviews. And then you're going to select the internship based upon the employer feeling comfortable with you and also you feeling comfortable with them. And so it's a mutual process for each of you to be accepted into the internship. So once you have your internship, and then you're going to arrive to Washington, D.C. And we have the fall, spring, and summer semester, so 3 semesters a year. The fall and spring semester is a 15-week-long program. Our summer semester is a little bit shorter, and it's a 10-week program. And again, your college university is going to be awarding you academic credit for that entire experience. Usually in the fall and the spring semester, universities will award anywhere from 12 to 15 credits. In the summer, it varies from 3, 6 to 9 credits, again, depending upon the university. So once you arrive to Washington, D.C., we do have housing that is available for you to be in. We have really great housing that we have. We have a place called the Residential and Academic Facility, which is near Union Station. Union Station is right next to the Capitol, and so it's a really great spot for students to be in. We also have housing available in the suburb areas of Washington, D.C. As well. All the apartments that we have come with everything that you need. From pots and pans to the sofa, the TV, everything. And we also have ADA compliant apartments as well in our facilities. Also, one of the things that once you arrive to our program, we're going to be making sure that you're ready for the first day of your internship. So there's 2-day orientation that you'll go through. The orientation consists of meeting with your academic program advisor. And this person is kind of the point person for making sure that you're comfortable during the 15 weeks at your internship. When problems and issues arise, they're your go-to person. You're also going to be working on a portfolio while you're with us as well. And these academic program advisors are all specialists in their areas. So for example, if you're interested in law, you're going to be in our law criminal justice program, and your academic program advisor is going to have a JD in that area. Or if you're in international affairs, for example, you're going to be working with someone who has at least a master's degree and has an international affairs background. So you're going to do the 2-day orientation, and then you're going to be ready for your internship. And we've kind of already gone through what the internship week looks like. And one of the things that separates, makes our program special is that you're going to be doing a substantive internship. So you're not going to be getting coffee and filing papers all day. You're going to be doing real work that you can add to your resume to make you more competitive in a very competitive job market. Our leadership forums are great on Mondays. It's a great opportunity that the Washington Center provides for you to be able to network with people. We bring in high-level speakers, and then some Mondays you'll meet in your cohort. And so, for example, if you're interested in business and global trade, you're going to be in that program, hearing from speakers or panelists in that specific area. But we brought in many high-level speakers. For example, we brought in former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright to former Vice President Dick Cheney, who just came and visited with students last year. And students got to ask him questions and vice versa. And so it was a really great opportunity for the students. Another part of the process, which I talked about, is really important, is the giving back. Civic engagement is a very, very important part of the Washington Center experience. And we have organized civic engagement efforts that you can participate in. For example, animal welfare, immigrant rights, homelessness, local green initiatives, LGBTQ issues, etc. Or you can form your own civic engagement task force with a group of other students if that interest area doesn't meet what you're looking for. And you'll have a team of people that will be helping you throughout your civic engagement process. And it's really a full circle experience, not only being actively involved in giving back, but learning about the issue, giving back, and also advocating as well as part of the issue. You also, part of your experience will be taking a TW Washington Center academic course. We have about 40 to 60 each semester that we offer. All the professors or a lot of them are adjunct faculty members in the local area, such as American, GW, Georgetown, etc. You also will be meeting with a member of your congressional representative from your home district as well, and that's a good opportunity for you to kind of have a good back and forth with that representative to have a good dialogue about policy that's affected in your areas, and so you can see how your local area is affected on Capitol Hill. We also encourage students to do informational interviews, and again, there's a whole, you want to be working on a portfolio during your time with us as well. And all of that you're going to be turning back into your home university to receive academic credit for the experience. The Washington Center is a great experience for student disabilities because not only do we offer support during your time with us, we have a disability coordinator that will be working with you prior to your arrival, making sure that we have your accommodations ready in your housing, at your internship, and in your academic course. But we also will make sure that you're well prepared during the phone interview process as well, and helping you learn how to maybe talk to your supervisor about accommodations that you'll be needing in the workplace. And so there's a variety of different things that we will work with you on while you're with us in relation to disability programs that we offer. And so take a look at us. Our website is twc.edu, and also you can send us an email at info@twc.edu if you have any specific questions. We'd be more than happy to get back in touch with you. And lastly, the program can be a very affordable program for students with disabilities. We have disability scholarships from the great organization that provides funding with us, the HSC Foundation, and also AT&T, Kessler Foundation, all provide funding for students with disabilities. And these scholarships are all available for persons with disabilities to make it a very affordable experience to participate in. Thank you.
Hi, this is Krista Flores. I'm the program specialist with the accessibility program of the Smithsonian Institution. And part of what I do is administer our internship program for students with disabilities. Now, this is only one piece of the Smithsonian's greater internship program. At any given year, we have over 2,000 interns that come in through
the general internship program, but mine targets students with disabilities. So it's entitled Access to Opportunities, and basically what we really try and do is take the experience that the students have within their education background and give them some real-world work experience and research experience within the Smithsonian. Again, it's kind of like the other internships that you've been listening to, where you're not going to be doing filing or getting copies or doing that kind of stuff. It's all generally, it has to be generally related to your area of study as well as related to your interest and learning objectives. So our Access to Opportunities programs began in 2009 with 5 interns. It started as a pilot project, a very small pilot project, and we had such a great success with it that each year we continue expanding it. It's funded right now through the HSD Foundation, but we also have received additional funds from the Kennedy Center and private donations. It's a program that a lot of people are very supportive. So we have interns placed throughout the Smithsonian Institution, and that includes, a lot of people think the Smithsonian is just one museum. It's not. We have 13 museums and a zoo. We also have central administration. So basically, you can find every type of employment or internship opportunities within the Smithsonian. And so if you're looking at our program, just keep that in mind. We have fundraisers, event planners, lawyers. We have a lot of different types of placements available for students. We typically do not place interns in jobs that are designed for that we schedule for volunteers. So it's not, again, like you're not getting coffee, but you're also not just greeting people at the door, giving them maps, telling them where the bathrooms are, or doing tours of the museum. This is more focused on academic research. Our requirements for the access opportunities are a bit flexible. Over the years, when we started it, it was strictly for college students or graduate students. And throughout the years, I found out that we weren't meeting the needs of all of the community and the people that wanted to work within the institution. So I've expanded the program to include some high school students, some post-high school students that are doing post-high school programs or doing specialized community college-based programs. So basically, in a nutshell, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Priority is given to students in the D.C. metropolitan area that are either from this area or are going to school in this area. And I would say, but most of it's been about half and half for our internships. We've had people from all over the country apply and come. It's just, we find during the school year when most students are in school, we have a higher population of DC residents that are there. So you have to be enrolled in some type of accredited program, or another change that just happened this year is if you are out of school but you're expanding your learning. So if we can come up with learning objectives and tie your learning objectives with your field of study and what you want to do with the program at the Smithsonian, then we will still consider putting people in internships. So that's really expanded the base of who we can have within our program. You have to have some kind of demonstrated interest in museums and the work that we do. Generally, our internships, these are the specifics. Again, we modify them for everybody. So, but looking at the larger picture, the internships last for 400 to 600 hours. We give a stipend, and it's drilled into our mind here to tell you it is not considered a salary. So the stipend will be tailored to the amount of time that you're here, but not necessarily to the type of work that you're doing. Stipend amounts will vary, and since our mid-range has been $3,000, for the most part, we don't exceed that unless there's special circumstances. And this year we've also added virtual internships and allowing people to telecommunicate or come do research from other places, because we found that college students a lot of times have academic devices and stuff that they can pull into their program, get academic credit for. And so we try and work with that as well. So you don't necessarily have to be in the DC area. And I should also mention the Smithsonian, we have 2 museums in New York as well. So the process is basically it's an online process. What we need is a resume, an academic essay. It's not just going to tell you how important that academic essay is. We want to hear about your goals, your qualifications, your career aspirations. If you went to the Smithsonian when you were 8th grade, any of those types of things we want to hear. That's how I get a really good feel and personal connection to the applicant. We need unofficial academic transcripts.
And for colleges and universities, or the 2 letters of recommendation, again, if there's a problem getting any of these pieces, because maybe you've been out of school for a while and you're going and retraining for something, then we can modify all of these. So I've been given a lot of freedom to make changes within our program to meet the needs of the community. So applicants are reviewed basically on a case-by-case rolling basis, and they're subject to available funds. So some years will have more internships and more interns than we have other years. The bulk of our interns are accepted within the summer program, but I have been expanding the amount of interns that we carry throughout the year. And we found that a lot of our students with disabilities are looking, they don't necessarily want to do a 40-hour work week, so that may be a little bit difficult. So we can expand it out and we can change it around. So it's not real rigid in the amount of time. And so I have people starting, maybe in the fall and going working through early spring to get all their hours and exams to complete their program. So it really depends on where you're placed and who you're placed with. The main thing I'm asked all the time when I talk about our program is, what do we look for? And how do we decide? The Smithsonian in general is a very competitive internship. We get hundreds of thousands of applications every year from all over the world. So basically the first process starting is just meeting the minimum requirements. And then again, your essay. Your essay is where you're going to demonstrate your passion for what you want to do, and that's what we're looking for. And we're looking for unique qualities, so if you speak foreign language, don't forget to include that. If you have prior experience, volunteer experience, working experience, any of that helps. So anything that you can put to really make your essay personal. Also, I tell students all the time, proofread, check your essays, have other people read them, because that's what, not only it goes through multiple levels, and that essay gets put out to a lot of possible placements. So if there's something, if you really want to work in terms of anthropology, then there's a couple curators that I would send your application to. And they're not always going to look for just the highest GPAs. They want to know, is this person passionate about their work and what they do? We ask for references, your 2 references. Those references are sent in blind, so you did not forward them to us. The references actually do that. So make sure you choose them well, and make sure you know who's writing your references and what kind of references they write. Some professors, if you're in a class with 500 students, they have kind of a form, you pass with an A, they have a form reference that they send. That may not be the best to make you stand out in a program like ours. So really think about the references and who you work with. And again, if it's not necessarily what we're asking for, you can always give me a call, and I'll always try and work with you to make sure that we can give you the best possible chance to get it. I look for diversity in interns, and that means diversity in disciplines, disabilities. So I'm looking for a lot of different types of students to fill our different, because it's such a large institution, we have all different types of staff. So when you're working with different types of staff, we try and make those connections. And what I also try and do is look for staff that will mentor the students. We had one student that just finished an internship with me, and he was placed in American history. He was a public history major and started working with our automotive curator. And they decided that he was going to do a research project on adaptive technology within the field of cars and transportation. And now this has turned into his dissertation. And the curator is part of his academic team now, and he's actually going to be transferring to American University to finish out his PhD. So we really I try to make those connections. I want this to be a positive experience and an experience that will carry you throughout your career. And also that means if it's something you thought you wanted to do and you do it for 10, 12 weeks and you say, this is not what I thought it would be. I mean, that's part of it, is helping the student identify what they want to do, where they want to be, and then we also work with you to make other recommendations of where you will want to go. So some of the selection is also just based on the practicality of what research projects are happening within the institution and what we're looking for. One of the other programs that I'm just going to briefly touch on that we started this year that's in a pilot program is Project Search. And this is for young adults with intellectual disabilities who are either in their last year of school or who are recent graduates. This is an immersion program, and what we do is students are accepted into Project Search. They do 3 10-week rotations. of internships. So they have the opportunity to do 3 internships. There's classroom work as well, and it's kind of a full-service year-long program to orient a student to working life and day-to-day life and get them. The 3 different areas generally are different based on what the student likes to do, and so we're trying to look for internships that will turn into employment. So just this year, we're still in our first round of 10 weeks. We have students that are doing digitization of artifacts and collections, office work, customer service, and we're going to be expanding that out into some of the other programs that we have. One of the big areas that we're working on right now is digitization. The other question I get a lot is accommodations, and with our students coming in, we don't expect the student to always know exactly what you're going to need, so I don't expect you to call and say, or if I say what accommodations can we provide for you, to say I need this, this, and this. So we understand the internship, and part of that internship is finding out what things will help you and help you be successful in your program. So we have places where we can send you, where they can do evaluations for the best accommodations. This is the benefit of being part of the federal government, but we are quasi-federal. So not everybody within the Smithsonian is a federal employee. So that's just something to keep in mind, but we have access to a lot of federal resources. And I try to utilize all of those with finding the appropriate accommodation during the time the students with us. We always cover the cost of accommodations, and that's never really an issue. So, I know a lot of people, if you haven't had a lot of experience asking for accommodations, might be a little reluctant to do that. And so we try and work with my Office of Accessibility Program and wherever you're placed, as well as our Office of Equal Employment and Minority Affairs, to really make sure that that's all completely smooth and easy for the students. So as part of seeing the benefit of being a research institution and having so much going on is we can provide additional opportunities for students. The things that we do is a lot of networking opportunities where you get to meet curators, researchers, other staff, and people working not only in your museum but in other museums. And next week we're doing a field trip out to one of the storage collection facilities that has 55 million pieces or million artifacts of the Smithsonian. It's just actually holds the artifacts for only 2 of our museums. That's only a third of our collection. But we're taking the students out there to go and look at and see what an off-site storage facility looks. There's educational in-services, curators. We bring in researchers from all over the world talking about their research. And you have the opportunity, all of those are open. We do behind-the-scenes tours of collections. It's only an eighth of our collection is out on the floor of the museum, so most of the stuff is behind the scenes. So you have an opportunity to do that, and that's always a big hit. And then there's networking opportunities through the Greater Washington Internship Council of working with and meeting other interns with disabilities. And also, again, it's a small enough program that if I know that you really want to do something specifically, or I had one intern that came and had seen one of our curators on the History Channel and was just really wanted that was the reason they were interested in the Smithsonian and coming to the Smithsonian. So the person happened to be on a dig, so we could not connect them during the internship, but when he came back later, that was one of the things that I had promised the intern that we would do is make that connection so they could talk about the research. So we try and do a lot to really make it beneficial for whether you stay within the Smithsonian, within the DC area, or expand out.
Okay, so we are now getting towards the end of the webinar. As you can see from these 3 programs, the Greater Washington Internship Coalition has a wide variety of programs, and as I should have mentioned earlier, most, although not all of them, offer assistance in terms of either they are paid internships or they have a stipend, or like the Washington Center, they offer scholarships. So I know a lot of you may be based out in California, but there are really opportunities to be able to come to DC. I participated in one of these programs a couple of years ago, and they provided me with a stipend and housing, so I was able to come to DC even though I'm not from here originally. So definitely don't discount it just because it might seem far away. And there's a really great variety of programs And I think, Christina, did you want to touch on the California-based program now?
Thank you, and thank you so much for joining us and being willing to present today. We've really enjoyed having your presentation. Yo Disabled and Proud is in partnership with the World Institute on Disability and offering internships to youth and students with disabilities in California throughout the state. So our program is mostly based for students that are in college at this point or recently graduated. And we, at first, were only offering internships for summer students last year, but we're actually now getting into internship opportunities that are offered on a semester basis. So if there are any students on the webinar or on the phone that are interested in internships specifically in California, please let Kirk Aranda, our youth advocate, or myself know that you're interested, and we'll make sure that you're in the pool of applicants to get information from when opportunities arise. But again, thank you all in Washington for joining today and presenting. This has been a wealth of information.
Well, thank you so much, Christina. And I don't know if there's any questions either on the phone or if anybody has questions they want to type in. Okay, if nobody has any questions, you're definitely welcome to contact any of us. I believe our contact information is in the webinar, and I know mine is, so if you have any questions or want to reach out to me, again, my email address is yts@aapd.com, and we're always very happy to hear from you and to answer any questions down the line. And thank you so much for allowing us to do this webinar, and thanks to all the presenters for being here today.